Respect, not aging your love, respect page. I truly appreciate your time to the genuine ones only. Have a safe day and have a safe week. Protect your energy because not everybody's gonna get time. You know, when you're a child of God, you don't gotta sit here and fake gaslight nobody when God is attuned within you. You know, regardless to what trauma you experience from a child point of view, going to your adulthood, from a child point of view, being sexually assaulted, dealing with domestic violence, trauma type of trauma, whatever sickness, you put a name to your book, dealing with violence, you put a name to your book. But when God is working in your favor and God is allowing you to become your best self vision of yourself, that you are the miracle within yourself, and God was patient with you for the right reasons, and you don't gotta wear a mask when you tune into God or fake gaslight nobody, and you don't gotta wear a mask when you're genuinely at peace with yourself. And I say that respectfully. You know, who do you trust? They say. You can have a lot of people around you, right? You could have all the money in the world, but who do you trust? Especially when the enemy's trying to attack you and you can't confide in nobody. And you're not understanding why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. And you just feel like you want to give up on yourself. Or you just have days where you just don't want to get out of bed. Or do you have days where you just feel like, you know what, I don't want to be bothered with life itself. You know, you feel like days where you want to suck yourself out your own freedom. And then you have days where you just say to yourself is, you know what, how do I find balance? But I don't know how to find balance within myself. I have my days I wear a mask, but nobody's gonna know because I put on a show so good, so they would never know. You know, when they say deal with your problems, nobody cares. Deal with your problems, I had to do it. Deal with your problems, don't nobody give a F about you. Deal with your problems. You know, when the enemy attacks you and you don't understand why your mood just shifted, when you was just up feeling good about yourself and you was just so inspired and you was just so motivated and your energy's just gone. And you're just trying to find balance within yourself to show up for yourself. And you're just trying to figure out what just happened just now. Like, what's going on? That's the enemy trying to allow you to believe to give up on yourself. That's the enemy wanting you to live in fear. That's the enemy telling you to be discouraged. That's the enemy not wanting you to show to elevate and become your best self vision of yourself. When the enemy sees that you have so much potential, when the enemy sees that they can stop your flow whenever they feel like at the end of the day, they will try to. And you're just trying to find balance within yourself to be at peace with yourself, so you could be able to handle the enemy when the enemy approaches you. To find balance within balance when the enemy tries to project negative energy in your mindset, negative thoughts on your mindset. Those are not your thoughts. Those are enemy thoughts. You don't understand yourself. You're trying to find after you reevaluate your thought process and say, that wasn't me. I wouldn't even say such a thing like that. Why would I say something like that for? I'm not against myself. I'm not against my neighbor. I wouldn't bring harm towards myself. I wouldn't bring harm towards my neighbor. I just want to elevate and become my best self vision of myself. I just want to understand the sun within the sun to show up for myself. But when the enemy tries to project you from stopping yourself from becoming your best self vision of yourself, or the enemy tells you to sit down, and you ain't got control over yourself today, and you just want to be at peace with yourself, but you don't know who to confide in or trust when the enemy attacks you. You know, when you're a child of God and the enemy shows up, you got to go within. And I say this respectfully, you got to go within and say to yourself is, you know what? I love myself today. I may not understand why I love myself today, because you wasn't loving yourself as much as you did yesterday. And I say this respectfully, because sometimes it happens. You know, sometimes people put a mask on and act like they're so in tune with themselves, and the whole entire time they're not. They're just fake gaslighting, just to put on a show for the next person, to show them that they're fine, they're so in tune with themselves, and they're not. It's the mindset for me. And when you're a child of God, God didn't install that within you. God installed self-awareness, self-respect, self-peace, self-healing, self-confidence, self-discipline, self-care, self-love, self-worth, self-patience, healthy boundaries. So you can become your best self version of yourself. And God chose you to see another day for a reason. So that means God was patient with your process so you can understand yourself. There's no race at getting to know yourself. And I say this respectfully. It's no race. But genuinely meaning what you're saying, staying true to yourself, that you want to be in tune with yourself. That was God's plan for you, to get in tune with yourself. You know, when you're not in a healthy space within yourself, it's okay to remove yourself from people. It's not a crime. Because sometimes God sits you down by yourself for a reason so you can reevaluate your thought process. So you won't project negative energy on an innocent person, your neighbor. So when God installed these tools within you, when the enemy attacks you, you know how to stand up to the enemy now. And because you know how to stand up to the enemy now, you're a firm believer within yourself to know that you have awareness as to what's going on. And because you have awareness to what's going on, you know how to have discipline for yourself, not to allow the enemy to override your mindset, or to allow you to go back and forth with that enemy, or to allow you to feel like you got the best of me today. Because now you got self-control, and you got self-respect for yourself to stay in your lane whenever the enemy tries to attack you. Because after a while, the enemy can't attack you but so long. And I say that respectfully, because when you stay in your own lane, and the enemy is checking for you at the end of the day, and they see you ain't bothering them, it ain't even got nothing to do about bothering them. When they try to check for you now, God is protecting you. And because you called out to God, and God saw the private conversation that the enemy was having, God's going to guide you to better days ahead. And God's going to cover you and protect you. So you understood the assignment within the assignment, that those tools that God installed within you were for a reason. So you can have balance to show up for yourself whenever the enemy tries to attack you. You don't have to prove a point. You don't gotta allow the enemy to know that they're in front of your face sometimes. You don't gotta allow the enemy to know that. Because the enemy knows, and you know too. And you know how to dismiss yourself when that enemy tries to attack you. And I say that respectfully. So protect your energy, because not everybody's ever get time. And then, you know, the enemy appears in all different types of people. You'll be so surprised. So protect your energy, because not everybody's ever get time. Never judge a book by its cover, and I say that respectfully. God got your back to better days ahead when choosing your best self vision of yourself to elevate to become your best self vision of yourself. God chose you to see another day for a reason. God was patient with you for you to be patient with yourself today. God got your back. Just because they gave up on you, don't give up on yourself. Just because they overlooked you, don't give up on yourself. You are genuinely loved by all the right people. You are genuinely respected by all the right people. Never allow the enemy to hate and disguise or person with its intentions. So I can just throw person on your freedom. God did not install within you for you to give up. God did not install within you for you to live in discouragement or fear. God installed patience within you for you to become your best self version of yourself. And God chose you to see another day for a reason. Protect your energy, because not everybody's ever your time. I truly appreciate your time to the genuine ones only. Protect your energy, because not everybody's ever your time. Have a safe day and have a safe week. Love yourself with God's protection for every direction. Nice and you love, respect. Have a good day. Respect.